You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrantz for Black and White Sports, and well, it looks like we have somebody that has come out and debunked the accusation levied by one Brian Flores against the New York Giants organization. Look, did anybody really believe these clubs are a bunch of racists? I just don't buy that. Saying that it seemed like I had an interview with the Denver Broncos where everybody came in and had been out drinking the night before. What if they had? They can still come in and keep it together, do an interview, and decide whether or not they're going to hire somebody. I mean, I just don't see how that's connected to race whatsoever. I said I don't see how the Stephen Ross wanted to pay me an extra $100,000. Fuck, I could be so lucky. An extra $100,000 to lose games. Now look, I don't think that's very good from a sports standpoint. I don't. A competitive standpoint, you know, there's legal implications potentially in that. But again, what has that got to do with race? Okay, you didn't follow the instructions of the owner, and it's probably a good thing you didn't, because the fact is, Hugh Jackson may be in hot water right now if he took Jimmy Haslam up on the same offer, allegedly. But the point is, none of this feels like it has to do with race. The only part of this that brought race into anything was the fact that the NFL had the Rooney Rule, and the New York Giants had to fulfill the Rooney Rule with an interview. And again, who knows? I think there's a slight chance, you never know, that they would have decided to change their mind on Brian Daboll. So, anyway, let's get to this. This is New York Giants legend Tiki Barber. Tiki has come out and he has said, nah, bruh, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. He doesn't buy the racism claims against the Giants for the slightest second. Tiki Barber nearly breaks into tears while defending the New York Giants from allegations of racism. As the Giants are slammed by allegations of racial discrimination, Tiki Barber vehemently defended the franchise where he spent his entire NFL career. Earlier this week, former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores hit the NFL with a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination within the league's hiring process after the interview with the Giants 3 days after the team reportedly had already settled on giving the job to Brian Daboll. Based on the lawsuit, Flores alleges the Giants interviewed him to fulfill the NFL's Rooney Rule. Well, that's between you and the NFL and the Rooney Rule. And check diversity requirements box on the coaching search. That's the thing. Owners are going to hire who they want to hire, and it's easy to draw the connection between Joe Shine and Brian Daboll. I mean, for crying out loud, they both came from the Bills. It makes all the sense in the world. They want somebody that they think might develop Daniel Jones. I mean, look, Flores is a defensive guy. They wanted an offensive guy. And that's why the Rooney Rule makes this all a bunch of crap. Okay? If they didn't have to fulfill the rule, they wouldn't have had you in to begin with. The Rooney Rule makes all of this a sham. Blame the NFL themselves for that ridiculous rule. Barber, who played for the organization from 1997 to 2006, passionately defended the franchise during his WFAN midday show with Brian Tierney. Quote, "They embraced me like I was family," Barber said of Giants ownership. "I know them intimately. So when I say I don't believe they're racist, it's because I know they're not." Barber gave an emotional recount of being invited to meet former Giants owner Wellington Mara in the final moments before he died of lymphoma in 2005. During the story, Barber nearly broke into tears as he describes the Giants ownership as having the ultimate respect for people of all backgrounds. I've got to tell you, there are going to be so many players that come out and defend these organizations that frankly, Brian Flores is going to look like a damn fool by the time this is over. He's going to look real bad, real bad. And the sad part is he just squashed his NFL career. Somebody would have hired the guy. I mean, he'd have gotten a job either this year or next year, but he would have gotten another head coaching job. Barber's defense of the Giants was prompted by a WFAM caller who joined Tiki and Tyranny to suggest the former NFL running back should use his media platform to speak out about NFL diversity issues. Quote, I know they're not a racist organization, so for a caller to try to bull me into something that is not true, it's frustrating, Barber said of the Giants, because you don't know my truth and you don't know my interactions with the Giants organization. And to force me simply because I have a seat to do so, that's just wrong. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to me that the Giants are getting this rap. So, look, Tiki Barber's pissed right now. Kind of like John Gruden. Kind of like the John Gruden thing came out, and then all of a sudden, ex-players started coming out of the woodwork and coming out and saying there's no way in hell John Gruden is a racist. Not a chance. Brian Flores has torpedoed his career because he has taken a page out of everything that's happened in the last 18 months. And guess what? He filed this against the NFL and started a media tour. CBS Morning, all these different shows going on and talking to everybody. And he's become a hero to the leftist progressive radicals. Plain and simple. You torpedoed your career to look like a social justice warrior. And he knew. Look, he parlayed this thing into being the coaching version of Colin Kaepernick. Oh, good God. Maybe you'll get a Netflix special out of this. Brian Flores looks like an idiot. He's not going to win this case. He's not. It's going to be hard as hell to connect the dots that he laid out to skin color. And that's what's got to happen here. Not to mention, there's some very, very good language in all kinds of NFL paperwork to keep this from biting anybody in the ass. The NFL wants to get this to arbitration. Plain and simple, okay? They're not going to get this thing in front of a jury. The NFL has done things to protect themselves from guys like you trying to drag them into the mud over something that's not true. I can only imagine if you'd have went at Jerry Jones, he would have cut you into a million pieces. Michael Irvin would be serving you up on a platter right now. Plain and simple. This is pathetic. He would have gotten a job. That's what kills me. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get why Brian Flores did this. In all honesty, I think what happened here was he got furious when he found out the Giants had already hired somebody. Look at your own league, man, and that ridiculous rule that they've got, that affirmative action wannabe rule that they've got, saying they have to interview a minority candidate. This is on the NFL in their Rooney Rule far as how that looks. I mean, look, owners are going to hire who they want to hire. It's their team. They own it. They spent the money on it. It's ridiculous. This has got nothing to do with race. I am floored. I am floored. Nick Wright came out and said, it's the statistical impossibility that the NFL would only have one black head coach. Well, at this time, and if all the owners interview everybody and they just happen to come out with hiring somebody they feel is the most qualified and they're not black, that's coincidence. That's happenstance, dude. It is what it is. Next year's hiring cycle could see 5 black head coaches. That's just the way it worked out, man. Who do the owners think are the most qualified? Anyway, tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Tiki Barber, look, he's debunked this. Aaron Glenn has come out and said, I have gotten none of this in the interview processes from teams. Deuce Staley said, no, the interview process have been very respectful. They're also not stupid. Those guys are all future head coaches. And Brian Flores, you missed the boat this time. Sorry, not sorry. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.